So far we have covered the big picture documents, the band ID and loop diagrams. Now we are going to look at three documents that are just as critical but serve very specific, practical purpose. The instrument data sheet, the hookup diagram, and the instrument index. Let's start with the instrument data sheet. Every instrument on project, every transmitter, every valve, every gauge has a data sheet. Think of it as the instrument's personal specification sheet. It captures everything about the instrument, what it measures, its range, its accuracy, what process fluid it's exposed to, the materials it's made of, its connection type, its output signal, its power requirements, hazards area classification, and more. Okay, but why does this matter? Because when you order an instrument, you are not just ordering a pressure transmitter, but for example, you are ordering a pressure transmitter that measures between 0 and 1000 kilopascal, outputs 4 to 20 milliamps, connects to a hard protocol, use a diaphragm made of hastelloy because it's measuring a corrosive acid. It's rated for a zone 1 hazards area. Every single one of those details is on the datasheet. Datasheets are generated by the instrument engineer, reviewed by the process engineer, and then handed to vendors for procurement. If the datasheet says the instrument needs to be accurate to plus or minus 0.075% of span, as we see in the example from the slide, then that's exactly what the vendor must supply. No guessing, no assumptions. Now, let's talk about hookup diagrams. And these are wonderfully practical documents. A hookup diagram, sometimes called an installation detail, shows you exactly how an instrument physically connects to the process. Imagine you have a differential pressure transmitter that needs to be connected to an orifice plate on a gas pipeline. The hookup diagram shows you where the tapping points are on the pipe, what type and size of impulse tubing to use, where the isolation valves go, how the manifold connects to the transmitter, which port is high pressure side, and how the transmitter should be positioned relative to the pipe. This might sound straightforward, but in practice, getting the hookup wrong can cause serious measurement errors, or worse, safety hazards. If the impulse lines on a differential pressure transmitter are not properly sloped to drain liquid or vent gas, you will get incorrect readings. If the wrong valve type is used in a high pressure steam application, you have a potential for leaks and burns. Hookup diagrams eliminate these risks by providing a standardized, pre-approved connection method. Different instrument types have different hookup diagrams. A thermal installation looks very different from a flow transmitter tapping. A pressure gauge hookup is different from a level transmitter installation on a large vessel. Projects typically have a library of standard hookup drawings, and each instrument on the project is assigned the appropriate one. And now, the last document in this lesson, and in some ways the backbone of the entire instrumentation package, is the instrument index, also called the instrument list. The instrument index is exactly what it sounds like, a master list of every single instrument in the plant, organized loop by loop. For each instrument, it records the tag number, the service description, the P&ID reference, the loop drawing number, the datasheet number, the hookup drawing reference, and installation standards. It is essentially the instrument engineer's master database. On a large project, an oil refinery, a petrochemical plant, you might have thousands of instruments. The instrument index is what keeps track of all of them. It's updated throughout the project lifecycle, from the early engineering phase through construction, commissioning, and into operations. In practice, if you are a field technician and you need to find the loop drawing for a specific instrument, for example, LT 105. You start with the instrument index. Look up the tag number. Find the loop drawing reference. Pull that drawing. Everything connects back to the index. Think of these three documents as a set. The datasheet tells you what the instrument is and what it must do. The hookup diagram tells you how to install it. The instrument index tells you where to find all the documentation related to it. Together, they form the complete picture for procurement, installation, and maintenance of every instrument on the project. Thank you.